All right, so the Bills, off. The Dolphins, 21-31. Final score. I just want to talk about. Obviously, my job is here to analyze. So I'm gonna come and do this on my. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come and analyze this game for y'all. Just tell you my thoughts, what I saw, and I'd love to hear what y'all have to say in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that kind of good stuff. But because the whole sports is about dialogue, and the more dialogue we can have, especially on my channel, the better. I want to talk about stuff. That's what I want to do. To return the ball over. But well, when it comes to the Bills, I want to start with Josh Allen in the offense. Wasn't the best performance, and I saw somebody say, "Oh well, uh, they didn't blow them out like they're supposed to. The Bills let the Dolphins they let the Dolphins hang in the game. Let's not do that now. Trust me, no one in the NFL is letting somebody do something. It's rare that it ever happens. These dudes are everybody's fighting for a paycheck. They got families to feed, right? So ain't nobody letting nobody do nothing. Buffalo lacks the dominant wide receiver one in their system. That's just what it is. Keon Coleman, I'm not the biggest fan of, but I'd love to see him in a lesser role as a number two or number three receiver. Um, I like Khalil Shakir. I like Josh Palmer. I like Elijah Moore. I like Jackson Hawes. I like Dawson Knox. I like Dalton Kincaid. I like Ty Johnson. I like James Cook. But all those guys are great. The offensive line's phenomenal. The one piece Buffalo is missing on offense to take them to the championship winning level is a dominant wide receiver one. And Keon Coleman is just not. He's not a dom. Keon Coleman is not a number one receiver on a championship team. I'm just telling you now, he's not that. He's just not that guy. And so that's what it is right now. So Buffalo has to adjust and say, hey, we missed on that draft pick to this extent to where he's not going to be our number one to replace Stephon Diggs like we thought he could be or would be. So we need to adjust. Who else is out there that we can go get that could be at number one? And the guy I look at is Adonai Mitchell. And you may say, okay, who's the Adonai Mitchell guy? He doesn't have the biggest stats. He don't get the biggest name. But go ask Texas and Georgia fans about Adonai Mitchell. Just go ask them because they're gonna rave about him. Go ask people who played Adonai Mitchell. Like that kid's ridiculous. I'm just telling you now. That guy has a chance to be a Hall of Famer. I'm just telling you now. And I don't mind being, oh well, this is wild and what you saying crazy. I can call me crazy. Adonai Mitchell has a chance to be a Hall of Famer, and you put him with Josh Allen, was guaranteed to be a Hall of Famer. The dude's special. Guys like Adonai Mitchell don't come around often. I'm just telling you now. The dude's played in 5 college football playoff games, 4 with Georgia, 1 with University of Texas. He caught 5 touchdowns in all 5 games. That there's no bigger definition of that than just I'm clutch. How many receivers in their lifetime can say they caught 5 touchdowns in a college football playoffs? I don't even know any other ones that can say that. He may be the only one ever. I'm sorry. In 2025, when you're doing stuff in college that no one's ever done, that's special. So he did that. No one's. I don't think. There's no one else I know. If you know somebody, let me know. And they probably end up being great, didn't they? Just but like I said, just let me know who they were because not many people do that. But I said it to say why. He's clutch. He was clutch in the freshman at Georgia. As a freshman, he walked into the University of Georgia on their way to their first natty. He was one of their best receivers, and he was their clutchest receiver. In a second run, he was their clutchest receiver, and he was injured. He got Texas. He was a clutchest receiver. Go watch 2023 Texas versus TCU. Like, to do this definition of clutch, and what does Buffalo need? Somebody that can be clutch with Josh Allen. Josh Allen needs this Travis Kelsey. Somebody that can be clutch, just like Mahomes. What is Travis Kelsey with Mahomes? The guy, no matter what, I know when it comes down to the wire, he's gonna make the plays to win the game. That's what Josh Allen needs, and he needs a dominant number one. And Adonai Mitchell not only can be that, he will be that. Right now, Adonai Mitchell is dealing with a lot of conjunction, and a lot of players in front of him, and he's just in a bad position. Right now, when it comes to catches, yards, play calls, and design play calls for certain players, Adonai Mitchell's competing with Jonathan Taylor, one of the best running backs in the league, Tyler Warren, who's probably going to be a Hall of Fame tight end, Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, and Josh Downs. There's really no room for him. There really isn't. And that's a credit to Indianapolis Colts. We don't understand how well Indianapolis Colts have drafted at the skill positions. They've drafted phenomenally well the last couple of drafts. They've done an amazing job. I forgot who the receiver coach is. I think it's Reggie Wayne. He's done an amazing job. Receiver room is loaded. They have 4 studs, but it's too much at the end of the day. And a team like Buffalo, Adonai Mitchell's really not getting the targets that he should be getting. On a team like Buffalo, this dude would probably end up being an All-Pro. I'm just telling you now. So I think I know if I'm Buffalo, I'm calling the Colts every day and asking them, what is your price for Adonai Mitchell? Because I'm telling you right now, that kid is legit. I know he's a missing piece on this Buffalo Bills team. All right, the defense is another story, but the way Josh Allen is playing, you go get him a guy like Adonai Mitchell, you might win a Super Bowl. I'm just telling you now. If they go get Adonai Mitchell, they might win a Super Bowl. Like, but at the day, you got to go maximize your window. So the Bills last year was already okay. You burnt it. Like you blew. I mean, they've been blowing it for years, but the window's open. You've got to go maximize it. You need to go get a dominant receiver at the end of the day to put with Josh Allen that's young in age that can be with him for a long, long time, like Kelsey is with Mahomes, Gronk with Tom Brady. These guys can't do it by themselves. And I think the Bills they have everything else you can want on offense. Elite offensive line. No one has a better tight end room than the Buffalo Bills. The receiver room has a bunch of really good dudes that are really good number twos and number threes. And the running back room has James Cook, and then they got Ty Johnson and Ray Davis. They got dudes in the running back room outside of James Cook that can make plays too, in the running game and in the passing game. Ty Johnson, right, in the passing game. So, and I don't even know. We'll see what Ray Davis can do as the season goes on. I don't think he played today. I don't know if he's injured or what, but I don't think he played today. But but Ty Johnson, he made some big plays. He made some good plays. But with Buffalo, they're missing that wide receiver one, that dominant number one receiver. And I think Adonai Mitchell is a guy to go do that. I think if they get nine match, I know if they get Adonai Mitchell, they will be competing. They will be able to unleash this offense. I think that's what's holding Buffalo back. I know that's what's holding Buffalo back. Is that down number one? Go get Adonai Mitchell. If I would trade a first round pick for the kid. I mean, I'm just gonna be. I would like that's how well I think of him. But I don't know if it will take that. I don't know. I'm not the Colts, but Buffalo needs to be calling the Colts every day and asking for this kid. To me, that's the guy. Like that's the guy you go get. If you're the Bills, I think the Bills need to go make that move. I really feel like they do. I really feel like they need to go make that move and go get him. He's cheap. He's not an expensive deal. It probably won't cost a lot to get him. And this guy's clutch. And that's the number one thing for me is you not just want to get anybody. You want to get guys you know that are going to show up in the big moments to help Josh Allen, and you know he's going to do that. 5 touchdowns in all 5 college playoff games he's played in. The kid's legit and he's clutch. He'll be a superstar in Buffalo. I'll tell you that right now. So that's my problem in the Buffalo Bills. That's why I think they got hung up in this game, and they kind of went through a lull for a lot of the game, and they pulled it out late. Now they defense. Buffalo, I think Gregory Rousseau was a miss. Came out of school I think with 15 sacks at the University of Miami. I remember him, or him coming out and everybody talking about that how his sacks were kind of just like they weren't respected like a regular 15 guys who get you get 15 sacks in college. You're like, oh my gosh, this guy's dominant. But I know it was looked at a lot differently because of some of the stuff that happened at Miami. But um, I think Buffalo. I know Buffalo lacks a consistent pass rush up front. I know that D line really has issues. They're just not outside of Ed Oliver. There's no one else is dominating the D line or in the front seven. I thought Terrell Bernard made some good plays. Had a pick, had a big tackle on Ollie Gordon. Um, he made some good plays, but that front seven just isn't dominant the way it should be. I like what they have in the back end. And I think when Maxwell Harrison gets back, I know he's going to be a stud. But I really think Buffalo, if I'm them, on top of going to try to get AD Mitchell, I'm going to be looking and see who can I get whether it's interior D lineman or on the edge to pass rush, because I think that's something they're missing right now is consistent pass rush off the edge, and they're missing some. So I think they need better play on the interior when it comes to stopping the run. Derrick Henry had a day versus them. And if you're going to win a Super Bowl, you're going to have to go through Baltimore and Kansas City and some of these teams. So the Steelers, right? Like you got to be able the Chargers with a manhandle. Like you got to be able to stop the run, or else teams are going to gash you in the playoffs with a really good offensive lines, really good play calls, really good guys who can scheme stuff up, and you don't want to have to you don't want to have Josh Allen save you, because eventually that's not going to work anymore. Just go ask the Bengals with Joe Burrow. Eventually you're going to have a defense that can get stops, and I think they need help in that front seven, whether it's at linebacker. I think they need to be calling around for linebacker. I think they need to be calling around for some pass rushers and some D line that can stop the run. That Buffalo Bills D line is just not dominant right now. I know Matt Malone will be back, but I really look at that D line. They need some big dudes up front. They need some dudes that can stop the run. They need some passers that can come up the edge and really get them some passers, because it just feels like everybody they play got all day to throw the ball. Whether it was Lamar or Tua Tagovailoa, they just got all day. Joey Bosa was the only guy I saw really getting back there consistently. So I think that's a big thing for Buffalo defensively. Now when it comes to Miami, I've been done with Mike McDaniel for a long time. I think he should be fired. I know he should be fired. This guy isn't a leader of men. I think what people have to understand when you hire a head coach, can this guy lead grown men? When you go hire or sign or whatever, draft a quarterback, can this guy lead grown men with families to feed? This isn't college anymore. This is big time stuff, and and so I think we have to look at it differently. I don't even know if Mike McDaniel ever coached in college, but that's beside the point. This guy is not a leader of grown men. Jalen Ramsey came and ripped their culture apart. So many players that came out and said, "Yeah, what's going on in Miami, their culture, their locker room, that kind of stuff is just horrible." And I agree. When people come speak that bad about your locker room, your culture, your leadership ability as a head coach, and you're the one that runs that program, and they say, "Okay, you have your leadership ability stinks. You don't know how to lead grown men. You don't know how to keep the culture right. All that kind of stuff." The things that people say as coaches speak actually, and the player telling you, "Hey, this matters," and he doesn't do it well. That's why I get lost with Mike McDaniel. He's just not a leader of grown men, and he's built this roster horribly. Like nobody can tell me what Miami does well or what they want to do. Look at Miami's roster. Like what is I still don't know what Miami. I just feel like when Miami goes to the draft, they just throw darts to the board and hope somebody ends up being a superstar. Like I don't even know what they're trying to build a roster to fit. Like what are you doing? Like they just draft random linemen. They drafted Kenneth Grant in the 13th pick this year. I don't understand that. Like, okay, so here's my thing with Miami. You have Tyreek and Jalen Water, and you know your offensive line is horrendous this year, right? You know you need to upgrade the offensive line and protect Tua, and you want to be able to take shots on the field. And if it's up to Mike Denton, he wants to throw the ball a lot. He obviously wants to do that, and he wants to run outside zone, that kind of stuff with Devon Achane. That's fine, but you have to have an offensive line that can hold up, and you haven't drafted that up front. And their defense, like you had Jalen Phillips, and Bradley Chubb, but then you go draft Chop Robinson to be a backup to them. Like, why are you drafting backups in the first round? That's what I don't get. You have two bookend defensive ends, and you draft a third one. Like, it's picks like that that just made me question. And like I said, like they Miami just draft and they just hope the guy can be good, and they don't draft to what they want to be as a team. I don't know what Miami wants to be defensively, or what kind of style of defensive football they want to play. I don't know what style of football they want to play offensively. I think I know, but the way they draft, you really couldn't tell. So the draft, when it comes to just drafting at a high level, they've done a horrible job in drafting to fit what Miami wants to do. It's been horrible. Um, and on top of that, Tua Tagovailoa has completely just fallen apart as a quarterback. He is lost right now. He looks like a quarterback that's been concussed a lot, and and he's just not a high level quarterback. I do think the offense would run better with a high level quarterback. I think I know somebody that told them to draft Justin Herbert and they didn't. So I think Miami got. I think honestly, this is the best I could put it. Miami got karma for firing Brian Flores. You thought you could do better. Let me tell you something right now. Brian Flores is laughing at the Miami Dolphins right now. I'm just telling you now, and I don't blame him because you got karma because you fired that guy when he didn't deserve it, and you didn't even. He wanted to draft Justin Herbert. You didn't even draft Justin Herbert. You told him, oh, you're going to take Tua and you're going to like it, and he was doing his best with what he had with Tua, and you told that man, "Oh, well, you're not doing a good job. Go kick your rocks." And you thought, "Oh, you're not doing 8-8, and it's not good enough," And he was building something. You just got to give him time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and he was winning with Tua to an extent. You see how bad Tua is. The fact that he winning games with him was an accomplishment. But you fired that guy wrongly, and now you're getting karma. Because one thing about uh, this life is karma will always come and bite you in the butt. It will always come back to you. If you don't do people right, trust me, it's gonna come back and bite you in the butt. And that's why I don't feel bad for Miami, and I never will, because um, they know what they did was wrong, and they're getting karma for firing Brian Flores because you thought he couldn't coach. You thought Miami Daniels was a better coach, and now look at you. You're 0-3. You're gonna be competing for the number one overall draft pick, and he's gonna be over there laughing at you. While he's coaching one of the best defenses in Minnesota. So this is to me, this is just karma for Miami thinking, oh, well, you suck, you can't coach. We're gonna get somebody better than you, and then look where you're at now. Miami's gonna become an irrelevant team in the NFL. They're gonna be the laughing stock of the league, fighting for top five picks with the Browns. So this is just karma to me for Miami. It's what it is. And you thought you got off on Brian Flores, but karma always comes back around. It always comes back on. Trust me, it'll never miss you. It'll always come back. So I don't feel bad for Miami, and I won't ever. That organization's getting what it deserves. For you don't do people like that, you get what you deserve, and that's what they're getting right now. Is man, we stink right now. We're going to be competing for number one draft. So if I'm a Dolphins fan, the best thing I tell you is start watching college football and start scouting. Like that's the best thing I tell you. Start watching college football, start scouting, and seeing who the best guys are, because that's where you need to be. If you're a Miami fan, you need to become a big college football fan if you're not already, because you need to start scouting to see who your future team is going to be, your future players, because that's where you're at. Start scouting for them one overall pick. Start getting to know the name Slayer Robinson, right? You know those guys. But for Miami, yeah, I think you got to fire McDaniel. I've been done here for a while. Once I start hearing about culture is no good and you don't got the right, you can't lead, you're not a good leader and all that kind of stuff. And do you look at McDaniel? He looks like a nerd. He don't look like somebody that grown men are gonna get behind anyway. So, yeah, I think I know Miami's done. I know Mike McDaniel's be fired. He's not a good head coach. Um, but Mike McDaniel, guess what? He'll probably end up being a good, really elite offensive coordinator. And his next thing, guess what? This could be a learning curve for him. So next time if he does get a head coaching job, he understands. Okay, this is what I did wrong the first time. This is what I got to do right the second time. So I think if I'm the Dolphins, I'm firing Mike McDaniel, and I'm blowing it up. Trade Tyreek Hill for whatever you can get. Trade Jalen Waddle. Trade Devon A. Chain. Uh, Trade Chubb. Trade Phillips. I say probably keep your young guys. I don't know. Like it depends on how much 18 has left on his contract, but the haul for 18 could be elite. So like I said, but I'm trading my best guys. Minka Fitzpatrick, I'm trading. Um, Jordan Brooks, like I'm trading all the big guys. Everybody you can get some capital back for, trade them now and blow it up. Just rebuild the whole thing, tear it down, get a new head coach. You're gonna get the number one. You're gonna be top five, top 10 pick this year. You're gonna get one next year, probably the year after. Go get your quarterback, right? You know, Raiola, Arch Manning, or whatever. Go get your coach, and then rebuild from there with Chop Robinson and some of these other guys. Patrick Paul, Joe Savea, Jonas Savea from Arizona. Big, really, I like him. Aaron Brewer is not bad. He good for the at center. I think just if you can, the left side line I like from Aaron Brewer to Patrick Paul. If you fix that right guard right tackle, you're starting to do something on the O line. I think, and then here's the next thing too. Depending on what Achane, I think you trade Achane because I think Ollie Gordon can be a superstar running back for Miami. So you can trade Devon Achane and say, okay, Achane, we're going to trade you, get a bunch of capital back for you, and then we're going to replace you with a guy we know can be just as good as you, if not better. But Ollie Gordon does it in a different way. But Ollie Gordon can be a superstar running back for the Miami Dolphins. So that's why I think even Achane becomes more expendable because you can trade Achane, get a really good haul, and then you could, okay, everybody's going to be, oh my God, he traded Achane, now they have nobody. And then in the building, okay, we have Ollie Gordon. We know this guy can be a superstar. So I think that even makes A-Chain more expendable. And if I'm a Dolphins, I'm definitely looking to trade A-Chain and then moving on Ollie Gordon as a superstar. But I think and I know Miami needs to blow it up. So that's where I'm at. And then just build back with Ollie Gordon, Patrick Paul, Aaron Brewer, Jonas Savea, Malik Washington. Like, build up with those guys. But I'm definitely blowing it up from Miami and just going from there. It's not going to happen. And when Josh Allen's, 14-1, I mean, I don't think Buffalo hasn't like what Miami's did like what that's the 10th time they've beaten Miami. I don't I think they had a stat like Miami hasn't beaten Buffalo since 2017, and if that's true, that means I would have been in elementary school and middle school, like sixth, seventh grade at best. I'm a sophomore in college now, so I mean, look, man, look when it gets to that point, it's really, really bad, man. So I mean, 2025, a couple years from now, it's gonna be a decade. If Miami doesn't win these next 2 years. If they do my math, they probably definitely won't. Then yeah, it's probably gonna be a decade until they beat Buffalo, which is really, really embarrassing. But hey, Josh Allen, one top quarterback in the league, so I'm out. This is my analysis. And I don't think there's anything else. I mean, Miami's offense, it is what it is. Miami's defense is really is what it is. So, yeah, I think Miami needs to blow it up. And Buffalo, go get AD Mitchell.